Hey, how y'all doing today? Right. Yeah. So there's an awareness that's moving through me, and I have a perception about it, and I want to express it. I want to speak about it. And so the perception is me thinking about and asking the question, what happens when someone argues with me or disagrees with me or accuses me of being disharmonious or saying something that's not right? So I'm just going over that experience that I have had, and I'm wondering, I'm going through my mind, I'm realizing, I'm releasing, I'm forgiving, I'm focusing, I'm becoming more and more clear and aware, and deciding to function in a higher state of consciousness in this moment right now. There's not another human around me, but whenever people argue with me, I become aware of what is causing it and how it's getting started. And so the reality of it is that they are hearing what I'm saying, they're feeling what I'm saying, they're experiencing my energy, even if I'm not saying. A lot of people who consider themselves empathic or intuitive think that they're picking up on something, so they start to have a reaction to whatever they're picking up. But a lot of times it's because of the tone of my voice, it's the sound of my voice, it's the feeling that is caused whenever some people at some points in their life hear me talk. And so what's going on is there's a way that my voice is resonating with harmony, and their decision is to be separate. The decision, their desire, is to separate their conscious mind in such a way that it believes that there is a difference between its subconscious connection, its subconscious mind, its connection to the soul, and its connection to the creator. So there's this evolution, there's this washing through of belief that's moving in and out, and there's also the main pattern of creation is that there's a strong opportunity for there to be a release, and it doesn't feel good to the ego. The ego is struggling, the ego is striving to stay, the ego is striving to maintain dominance over the human. And so the five senses and the brain are running away. The five sisters are flying the coop. They're jumping out the window and they're going out for the night, and it's midnight and the parents are asleep. And so there needs to be some growth and understanding and belief, and decision making needs to be clearer. There needs to be concentration to allow there to be a reception of the reasoning capacity. It has to be received, it has to be opened, there has to be a way that things are clear. And so what I notice most of the time when people get upset with me, or they blame me, or they don't feel good around me, it's because I'm speaking to that part of them that they're holding on to, that is disruptive and that is dismantling their connection and their awareness and that fine, thin existence of nothingness that is real, that is true. So I'm the National Peace Ambassador for the School of Metaphysics, and it took me to become the National Peace Ambassador for the School of Metaphysics to realize that there's no such thing as peace, that the way that we are talking about peace, the way that we want to create peace, and the images and the energy and the flow and all of that, it doesn't really exist. It's a creation that is a feeling. I feel something and then I call it peace. I never ever find peace. I never experience peace. Peace is not something that is actually real. It's an experience that I can be. I can become whatever peace is if I choose to, but I don't go out and find or get or pick up or touch or write or flow with or examine. You can't see it. You can't see peace. You can't even see the dust particles in front of my face. Why would you be able to see peace? You can't touch the dust particles in my face. How would you touch peace? There are states of consciousness that are beyond comprehension, beyond understanding, beyond belief, and they are that. They are that. They are real. They are. That require a mind. A state of consciousness requires a mind, and mind is a no thing. So a mind is an illusionary tool. It is a holographic projector. And so there's confusion in what is being projected. There's a difficulty in knowing what is actually whole. So the awareness is of knowing that there is nothing to be aware of. So you have to raise your level of understanding higher and higher until you get to the point where you can't see anymore. So you get to the point where you can't feel, you can't taste, you can't smell, but you're still alive and you can choose. You're at a point where now you can choose. That's the goal. The goal is to find choice, is to believe in patterns until you don't need a pattern anymore. It's to believe in the self until there is no self. You go beyond, you expand, you explode. And the function of beginning of awareness is just a little flicker of light. That's the function of the beginning of awareness. And then everything else, it rises out of that through belief that there is separation. It begins with the flicker of light, and then there is the belief in separation. And everything else is born out of this. There are physical bodies, there are physical things that are in existence. There are elements. We use the elements to understand ourselves and to become more whole, though. They are not separate from us. We use the belief in them and the understanding in them, and that's what becomes them. It's the belief and the understanding that a belief can be something that can be seen and touched and tasted and heard. It's just a belief. So what I find when someone argues with me is that they are stuck in a belief pattern. And they are defending that belief pattern with all the ego weapons that they can muster. There's nothing to fight about. There's nothing to win. There's no competition. There's nothing to correct. There's nothing to fix. There is only the constancy of creation.